When I was a kid, I always wanted a saltwater tank. But my father said it was, number one, it was too hard to keep. And back then, technology wasn't as good as it's now. And they really didn't know. So to go out and buy a fish that would say $75 or $100 and lose it in 3 months was a waste of time. So I decided to get a tank and start carrying some saltwater stuff. And the tank cost me $1. What happened was there's this gentleman named Joe. He posted a thread on Manhattan Reefs, $1 450-gallon tank. I wasn't in front of the computer. I was over at my friend Dell's house picking up a piece of coral. My friend David knew I was looking for a big tank, and I get a text message from him that says, "Rich, there is a 450-gallon tank for $1. I was like, why do you guys always have to joke with me? Because they knew I wanted one, you know? So he says, no, seriously, I'm dead serious. I said, well, you know what? Let's make this happen. I always wanted it. I mean, it's a matter of what people want, I guess. It was a dream to have a part of the ocean, you know? My daughter, she goes everywhere with me. She's my little reefer. As a matter of fact, we're going to get you a screen name. Okay. Young little reefer. And then you could post on the forums, and then they're going to be like, oh, how do you know so much? My daddy.
My job, I don't turn the lights on in the morning. After I come home from school at 2 o'clock, I come down here and I turn on the lights, and then I sit for a while, see if everything's doing okay. And then I turn on my lights and then my other lights. And then when my dad gets home, I sit down and relax with him. And then at night, sometimes I feed the fish and sometimes I don't. Fish is a little bit my hobby, not that much. I think TV is. I think TV is my hobby.
Teach them young. Preserve the ocean. Because whatever I have here, if I could pass down to other people, my daughter, her friends maybe, all the other members, that's one less thing you got to pull out of the ocean and kill the ocean.
Fish are a little bit boring, but I would say they're nice because you can watch them. Like if they had babies, it would be nice because they like swim around it. And then when the Nemos, the mom and dad, the boy does a little dance or a girl does a little dance, so they can have babies.
Right now there is 51 fish in the tank. Wow. You don't see them, do you?
My favorite part is just sitting and looking at my goby.
My favorite in this tank? I don't have a favorite. I love them all. Each one has their own characteristic, their own personality, and one is better than the other, one is worse than the other. There is no favorite. One thing I said that I would never ever get rid of in my tank, that I would never touch, was my Duncan. Because it's one of my prized possessions. That was my first coral that I ever acquired when I went into saltwater. That was January of last year. Everyone that has come over, they're like, can we have a piece? Just one head. We're just asking for one head. I was like, I'm sorry, I will not cut them up. The day we made the transfer from that tank to this tank, and that was in the big pail over here, everyone that was here, I clipped 2 heads, and I gave it to each and every one of them. And they're like, no, you can't cut them. I was like, yeah, guys. But you know what? I loved it. Because I knew each and every one of them wanted it. There's 2 different type of people in reefing, okay? There's a person that'll keep a reef tank and sell stuff out of their tank to keep their costs down for their overhead for running the tank. Then there's people like me, I'll buy stuff, but I'll give stuff away. If I could clip a piece of this off, it's not hurting my colony, and I can give it to Mike, and Mike brings it into his house, and this thing turns into this in 2 years' time. now you just got double the colony. But people will buy something like this, and they'll clip it to all hell and sell it for $50 a piece when they paid $75 for it. That's not a true hobbyist, in my eyes.